Hey guys, welcome back to another video where I'll be predicting 2026. And now for a lot of yous who are like, man, what are you predicting? I'm not going to say anything big this year. I'm just going to talk about the competitions and who I think will personally win each of the competitions coming up. And the first one I want to talk about is the AFCON. The AFCON to me has been amazing. I've loved it. I think it was, when was the last one? 2023, Ivory Coast, Nigeria. That was really the only game I kind of fully watched. And I would tune in here and there, but I wasn't really as focused. But this year I was like, no, I want to make it a goal of mine to really watch and see some of the ballers. And some of the things that I've noticed with the AFCON is there's actually quite a lot of young ballers and talents that I'm like, oh, where did that come from? Like Algeria, these young talents from Algeria, which I'm going to speak about in a second, and where I'm predicting them just out of nowhere. I'm like, who are these guys that are just popping out and scoring these wonderful goals? Two players like Mazza, I think his name is Mazza, or Mazza from Algeria. I'm looking at him from plays I think for Leverkusen. He's like 20 years old, and he's balling out, and I'm so impressed by him. And then another one that I was shocked about was in Australia, there's A League, which is the top league, and then underneath it, there's no relegation, so it's not like the teams really swap out. He plays in the MPL, which is like you've got mates that play there, and this guy who plays for Sudan, Abdallah, and he scores this phenomenal goal against Senegal. And I'm like, what? Who is this guy? I search him up, and he's doesn't even play for our A League, and he's balling out. But no, the AFCON has been great. Let me get it up. This is the last four teams: Algeria versus Nigeria. Then you've got Cameroon versus Morocco, Egypt versus Ivory Coast, and Mali versus Senegal. And this, I'm just gonna quickly go through them. I'm not gonna talk too much into it. Mali against Senegal. I think Senegal will make it through. Sadio Mane's team will go through. Egypt and Ivory Coast. I'm actually going to back Ivory Coast. I think Ivory Coast will do it. Algeria, Nigeria. Now, these two teams have been my favorite teams. Algeria, from a defensive point of view and young players, I think they've been great. And then Nigeria, who I've got a big heart for. I don't know why. I think growing up, I would see their jerseys and I was sold by their jerseys. Their jerseys were the reasons I supported them. Then you've got Cameroon and Morocco. Oh yeah, sorry, back to the other one. I'll talk about them in a sec. Cameroon and Morocco, I reckon Morocco will go through it. They've just got great talent and great manager, great overall. Then I'm going to go Senegal. Senegal will versus Ivory Coast. Oh, Nigeria will beat Algeria, I reckon. Then it will be Senegal versus Ivory Coast. I'm going to give it to Senegal again. Then Nigeria versus Morocco. I'm going to back Nigeria. I think Nigeria are going to do something. Then it'll be Senegal versus Nigeria. And I'm going to go Senegal. I think that also there's drama in the Nigeria camp with Osimhen. Just stupid. I think what he's done has not been helpful for their team. And I think this is why big clubs don't want him, is because of his attitude. But I think Senegal will lift up the trophy. I've been super impressed by them. I do want Nigeria to win because, again, I've liked them since I was a kid. Algeria, I wouldn't mind. That's my prediction. I reckon Senegal will win. That's just my honest thoughts. Then we go to Ligue 1. Let's quickly get Ligue 1 on. Look, out of all the leagues, this is probably the one I don't focus on the most. Lens, PSG, Marseille, Lille. There's great teams there that are doing their bits and pieces, but let's be honest, it's PSG's. PSG I reckon, are only second because of the injuries that they've had, and they've been playing their B team a lot of the time, which honestly goes to show, I don't want to be the guy that hates on any leagues, but it goes to show where the league's at, in the fact that they have, that as their standard. Bundesliga, look, it's going to be Bayern's. I don't even think this will be close. I think you look at Dortmund, you look at Leverkusen. I'm sorry, they're not going to do anything that will take away from Bayern. And I do think Bayern, it's not like a Bundesliga thing. I think Bayern have been phenomenal. When Musiala went out, Carl stepped in, and now there's obviously, they've got issues with Carl because of what he said about wanting to join Real Madrid, which is a whole nother thing. Dortmund have great players, but when you've got Bayern who have Carl, when you've got players like Elise, who's been phenomenal, Luis Diaz, who's a workhorse, Harry Kane playing well, you just see the levels for Bayern Munich is second to none. Second to none. So that's my honest opinion. Then we'll go into the Premier League. The Premier League is a bit of a bloodbath when it comes to the middle, the like second, third, fourth. Like if you look down till about like there's not many points separate. Oh, no, I don't know. I was looking down here, but when you go from Liverpool all the way down till like really like maybe 30 points. I don't know, like that's so close. They interchange all the time. And then City and Aston Villa dropping points now. It just feels like I'm like, does no one want to win this thing? Like, is Arsenal the only team wanting to win now? In the EPL, I like Arsenal out of every other team, but I'm like, man, like where is Man City right now? Where is Aston Villa? Like, I rate Man City quite highly, but I'm like, where are you? Aston Villa had this great form, then they lose to Arsenal, then they dropped down. Like they drew, like they didn't score today. They drew. Then you've got Liverpool, who are just super inconsistent, and I guess tomorrow will show whether they will try to fight for Champions League or if they're just letting it slip. And then United, like today, had a great opportunity to go ahead, to be tied with Liverpool, but if they won, they would have gone ahead of Liverpool because of goal difference. Just so many things like that. Like Newcastle were losing, and then they won the game 4-3. Like it blows my mind, but I do think this is Arsenal's league for the win. La Liga, I think this is Barcelona. I think Madrid obviously have a great opportunity to step up, and they've obviously lost a bit of form, so they've got every opportunity. But as a Barcelona fan and also someone who watches La Liga quite often, I think Barcelona will win this. Now, I don't think this will be comfortable. I think Madrid will push to the end because they've got this individual brilliant quality like Bellingham and Mbappe and Rodrigo. Vinny not so much this season, but players that can win matches, and I think that's where Barcelona at times, not that they don't have that, we've obviously got that, but that's where Madrid are like so solid in. So I think Barcelona will win that. Then we go into the Serie A. I don't know why I didn't have Serie A earlier. Now this has been like probably the closest competition, I would say, between the teams and how close they have been throughout this whole season. Now, I know AC Milan have a game in hand, and if they win this, they'll go to 41 points. My prediction is AC Milan will win this league. I know that sounds crazy. Inter have better players. Inter are more ahead, but I think AC Milan and how they've been going and keeping so many clean sheets and obviously they're not scoring goals like crazy, but like in reality, what are they? 28 goals that they've scored. In the whole league, only Inter has scored more goals than them, but their defense has been great, and they've got injuries coming back. Like Leao is back now. I just think they're gonna do it, and I think they will. They will. I reckon they'll sign another defender. I know they've been looking at another defender, so I reckon they'll sign another defender. Then we go into Conference League. Conference League, there's not much to say about the Conference League. I only put these on here because I was like, let's just see what I think. And I'll be honest with you, when I was looking at this earlier, I thought maybe Crystal Palace, because Premier League tax, I'm just going to say them because I actually don't really fully know where they will end up. Europa, I think there's only one team that I'm confident that could win it. Look, I'm going to say Aston Villa, but I wouldn't be surprised if Porto or Real Betis have a good run at it. So that's my thoughts. I don't think Leon will do well at all. Or not at all, but like I don't think they'll win it. Then you go into the Champions League. Now, I'm a Barca fan, but I'm going to be realistic as well. I think there are 4 teams that can win it. And I will say who I think will win. I won't sit on the fence of it. The 4 teams that I think will go through it is, I think Barcelona will go to the semis. I think Arsenal, Bayern, and PSG. And I think the 2 teams that will be in the final, I mean this, is I think it will be Barcelona and I think it will be Arsenal. And I think they will go far into the comps. And again, biased. There's a little bit of bias in me, and maybe because I'm not thinking with my head, I'm thinking with my heart. I think Barca will do it. I think when it comes to it, maybe, yeah, like in depth-wise, Arsenal's got better, 100%. When it comes to maybe at times their tactics, they have been better. But I think when it comes to the individual brilliance and the guys who step up in the biggest games, Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha. Now that we've got Juan Garcia and he has proved that he is that. When he's been injured, like you have seen the difference between keepers. Then you've got Lewandowski, who's got Champions League experience. Fernand Torres, who's been fairly decent this season, like one of the top goal scorers. I just think we need another centre back, and Cancelo maybe pushes Koundé to the middle. But with Arsenal, they've got the depth, but Saka hasn't been that great this season, and I love Arsenal. Gyökeres, not a chance. That guy is, to me, is hopeless. Winger on the other end, Trossard, yeah, like again, doesn't. The only one that I would be like threatened by are their centre backs. Honestly, not like their wing backs are great. I wouldn't be scared on a final, in the grand final. Saka, love him to bits. Don't scared. There's only 3 players I'd be scared of. That's Declan Rice, Gabriel, and Saliba, and that's really my thoughts. So that's what I reckon. Now, the last competition, the last comp is the FIFA World Cup. This is the thing that I'm most excited about. This thing is where I'm most keen, most excited, where I'm pumped. Like, I think about this all the time. Like, the World Cup is this year in a couple of months, and I want to make separate videos about the World Cup. I want to make thousands of videos about the World Cup. Like, this is probably where I want to spend the most time wow, my screen just moved completely. Out of everything that I do, or I've done on YouTube so far, the World Cup's the one I want to spend the most time on. Because there's so many teams that I could talk about, and there's so many teams that like I want to explain why I think they'll win it. But my prediction, I think, will be, Spain. I think Spain will win it. Now you've got great teams like, I think Netherlands are underdogs, as in where people are not rating them to win it. I actually think Germany, Argentina, Brazil. I do think that France, England will be high up there, but I do think Spain will win it. I think Spain have the best team. I think Spain have the best style of play. I know I'm a Barca fan, but I do think that if Juan Garcia plays, or even Raya, or out of those two, if Simone plays, Simone plays, I do think they will lose it because of that. The 2 things that I always say is you need a great striker who can finish things off. Obviously in the middle needs to be great, but that and your goalkeepers need to be solid. And the way Simone has been playing this season, now I know for Spain he plays well, but I think he'll be the game changer. If they have him, I think they could lose it. That's my thoughts. They're my predictions. Tell me what you guys think. I would love to hear it. Comment, subscribe, let me know all your thoughts, and I would love to chat to you more about this. I'll catch you guys.